Alright, let's start this video off properly. I want to give a huge shout out and congratulations to my friends Sarah and Toomey on their recent engagement. Guys, I am so happy for you, and I cannot wait to attend your wedding and see all of the wonderful nerdy stuff that you are going to be incorporating into the ceremony. I am so happy for you guys. In celebration this week, I am going to be building a Pathfinder 2nd Edition ranger called Grunyar Goldenbeard and the Ring Bear on this episode of the Local Disaster Tour Guide. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Mark and I am the Local Disaster Tour Guide. That's right, I'm a storyteller for Pathfinder, and I just have to ask, if the Undertaker does not crash your wedding, are the player characters even trying? But I won't share that story today. We'll save it for another day because today we need to celebrate. Two of my friends have recently got engaged, and I am doing a character build in their honor. I am making the Ring Bear. Okay, the Ring Bearer. By the way, quick shout out to my friend Matt for that terrible pun that I'm going to be abusing all video long. So today's video is a little bit of a silly video and a little bit of a one-off video. As some background for this, I serve as an admin for a group called Role Players of Owensboro that serves to connect gamers in and around the community of Owensboro, Kentucky. If you live close to Owensboro and you are interested in connecting with other nerds in this area, look us up on Facebook. We would be happy to have you. As part of that community, every month I run a character creation club competition where we give people a chance to create characters from any role-playing game according to a particular theme. Well, this month, two of our admins, Sarah and Toomey, have gotten engaged, and in celebration of their engagement, the theme for this month's Character Creation Club is Wedding Bells. Submit your characters that are themed around weddings and romance and love, and you too will have a chance for people to vote for your character to win precious, precious internet memes. So for the regulars on my channel, I know this is a little bit of an off-topic video, but feel free to stick around. I hope you enjoy the build that I'm doing today, and we are going to talk a little bit about how the Ranger class functions in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. The whole purpose of this competition is to help people understand gaming mechanics, character creation, and to foster conversations on how to do those things well. So, if you are interested in seeing what a bad pun looks like when you turn it into a character build, stick around. Let's get started. Now, before I dive into this build properly, let me say real quick that I will have a couple of character sheets for this build posted on Role Players of Owensboro alongside this video. I will have a level 1 version of this character, and I will have a level 20 version of this character. Both character sheets will be free and available to use, and you are welcome to download them. If you are not a part of Role Players of Owensboro, but are a part of the local disaster tour guide community, and you would like a copy of these character sheets, shoot me a comment down below, and I will figure out a way to get you a copy of the character sheets as well. So, the purpose of Character Creation Club is to foster conversations about the art and science of character creation. And as I typically do every month, my favorite gaming system is Pathfinder 2nd Edition, so that's the system that I choose when I typically create my characters for this. Today we're going to be going with Pathfinder 2nd Edition again, and we are going to be building a ranger. Several years ago, my buddy Matt made a terrible pun about how he wanted a ring bear at his wedding. Now, I was at his wedding and I was disappointed by the severe lack of a ring bear. But congratulations on your wedding and congratulations on your happy marriage as well, Matt. I will at least get some good mileage out of the pun that you made today. We're going to be doing a Pathfinder 2nd Edition Ranger build. Pathfinder 2nd Edition has 3 classes that have options for animal companions, and Ranger is arguably the strongest class for the animal companion options. So we're going to be building a Pathfinder 2nd Edition Ranger that makes maximum use of the animal companion rules so that we can have our very own ring bear. Now, in 2nd edition, the character creation process that they use is commonly referred to as the ABCs of character creation: ancestry, background, and class. Ancestry is functionally equivalent to race in previous versions of Pathfinder or in games like Dungeons and Dragons. Background is representative of what your character did before they became an adventurer, and then class is a representation of which heroic class you are a part of and what sort of abilities that you possess and can bring to the fore in combat. Now, obviously, the ring bear is the core of this build, but what other options do we want to take around that? Well, if we're going to have a pet bear, I'm sorry, I have to run with the fantasy trope here, so we're going to be taking Dwarf as our ancestry of choice. And for background, I'm going to be modifying the entertainer background to be the wedding singer background. And then, as already noted, our class will be Ranger. So, let's talk about these choices. Now, I am planning to talk about a level 20 build here. We're going to be starting with options at level 1, but just for the sake of simplicity, when I talk about specific categories, I'm actually going to be popping up all of the choices in a given category so that you can see the big picture even from the word go. So let's start with Ancestry. We're going with Dwarf because fantasy stereotype trope, if you're going to have a bear companion, it needs to be a dwarf. So we're taking Dwarf as our ancestry, but in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, every ancestry comes with heritages. These are choices under each ancestry that you can use to differentiate your dwarf from other dwarves that players might create. And the most interesting heritage option comes from the Lost Omens character guide, the Oathkeeper dwarf. Because if we're going to be attending weddings, we need to take oaths very, very seriously. I feel like it's the most flavorful choice. The Oathkeeper dwarf may be one of the weaker dwarven heritages in my opinion, but they do specialize in the sense motive application of perception, and you definitely want to make sure that you know people's motives before you get entangled in something like a wedding. At level 1, we're going to get to take an Ancestry feat as a dwarf, and I have chosen the Surface Culture feat, also from the Lost Omens character guide, because it's going to give us training in the society skill, and it's also going to give us training in a cultural lore of our choice. Now, this would be a good time to talk to your game master and decide which culture would be best for you to take with this Ancestry feat. Golarian default Taldane culture is probably a good choice, but talk to your DM, figure out what's best for you. And you will see listed here the other ancestry feats that we will be taking as this character progresses, but we will talk about those in specific as we get to those levels. Next up is background. Now, background is going to affect a lot of things, but in specific here, we're going to focus in on the skills and skill feats that we get from our background. I'm modifying the entertainer background to the wedding singer background. If you want to use this, you will probably need your DM's permission, but the changes are relatively minor, so I think most DMs would be okay with this. We will get the performance skill, and we're going to get the wedding's lore skill. The normal entertainer background has theater lore, but I wanted this character to be wedding themed, so we're going to switch theater lore for wedding lore. While we're talking about skills, I want to go ahead and pop up all of the trained skills that we will have at level 1, as well as a list of other skills and skill improvements that we'll be picking up throughout the course of this build. Most of these skills at level 1 are going to be coming from the Ranger class itself, so we're going to get Nature and Survival, and ultimately we're going to pick up 5 other skills as well. Our background is also going to give us a skill feat, which is the Fascinating Performance feat. And this is a really great create a distraction feat. It allows you to make a performance check against the will DC of a particular target to fascinate them and keep their attention, and allow your allies to get into some trouble on the side. As your training in the performance skill increases, you're going to be able to target more creatures with this ability. This is a very fun roleplay and social encounter ability, and I think it is a very flavorful addition to our wedding-focused build. Now, as we level up, we're also going to get a number of other skill feats, and I have these listed here, but again, we'll talk about those as we progress through this build. Now, throughout this build, at several points, we're going to be getting ability boosts and flaws, which we get to tally up to determine our character's total ability scores. These come from a lot of different sources, and there's not just a clean place where you can put these, so I'm just going to kind of lump this conversation together. As a dwarf, we're going to be getting a boost to Constitution and Wisdom. We're going to take a flaw to Charisma. I know that hurts a little bit as a wedding singer, but don't worry, we're going to come out okay on that. We also get a free ability boost, which we can apply anywhere, and we're going to put that in Dexterity. Our background is going to give us 2 more ability boosts. One of them has to be Dexterity or Charisma, and then the other one is a free ability boost. But honestly, Dexterity and Charisma are both core abilities for us, so that's the 2 we're going to take, Dex and Charisma. Our class, Ranger, gives us another ability boost, which we're going to put in Dexterity. And then finally at level 1, we get 4 free ability boosts. We're going to put those in Strength, Dexterity, Intelligence, and Charisma. At level 1, this means that we're functionally going to have a lot of 12s for ability scores. We're going to have a Dexterity of 18 and 12s in basically everything else. We'll see that start to vary a little as we go up in levels. Real quick, I'll throw the other ability boosts you can expect throughout this build. But at the start, we've hyper-focused on Dexterity, and we've got kind of a moderate spread on everything else. Now, at level 1, there's one category of feats that we're not going to get, and that is general feats. We'll talk about these later when they become appropriate to the build, but for now, here's a quick list of the general feats that you can expect throughout the course of this build. However, the core of any build in Pathfinder 2nd Edition is your class feats. And at level 1, we are going to take the most important class feat, which is Animal Companion. This is going to give Rangers access to a young animal companion, and we are specifically going to be choosing a bear, because we need a ring bear. Congratulations, we're at level 1, and we already have all of the necessary components for this character to hit everything we want it to hit. They can sing at the wedding, they have a ring bear, they're good to go. Obviously, there are another 19 levels that we get to enjoy, but we already have a fully functional character build, and we just get to add to the gloriously punny nature of this build the further we go. You'll see up here the other class feats that we're going to be taking throughout the course of this character build. And real quick, let me talk about the philosophy of the Ranger class. The Ranger class in Pathfinder 2nd Edition is really a single target class. It is a class that is designed to really hone in on a particular target and specialize in taking down a particular target. Rangers get 2 abilities. One is called Hunt Prey. As an action, you focus on one particular thing, and you get bonuses to seeking the target, tracking the target, and in a lot of cases, harming the target. On top of that, you're going to get to pick what's called a Hunter's Edge. Your Hunter's Edge can be a flurry of attacks that are aimed towards the target. It can be bonus precision damage that represents hitting that target in its weak spot, Or you can take the Outwit version of Hunter's Edge, which gives you defensive bonuses against a particular target. I've heard commentary other places on the internet that Rangers really are the burst damage class, that they focus on taking down one target and taking them down well, and I think that's a good summary of what the Ranger does. Which Hunter's Edge are we going to pick for our build? We're going with Precision. Precision is going to give us bonus damage whenever we hit the target for the first time on our turn. The presence of an animal companion influences this choice for us. We're going to be splitting our actions between ourselves and our ring bear. Since we don't have a lot of actions, the flurry option really doesn't make much sense for us. The outwit option could still be good, but I like the idea of dealing bonus precision damage when we do attack, and our animal companion benefits from our Hunter's Edge. So we deal precision damage, and the ring bear does too. So as a result, I've decided, let's really dig in and have some fun, dealing all kinds of precision damage on that one troublemaker who is crashing the wedding yet again. Now, as we go through this build, I'm going to be talking primarily about the choices that we make. I will be mentioning class features that we get throughout the build, but those are going to be explained in the core rulebook. So if you see a class feature popping up in this video, know that I'm not going to go in a lot of detail there. Instead, I'm going to spend most of my time focusing on the various choices that we'll actually be making during this character build. So let's go to second level. At second level, we have two choices to make. We need a skill feat and we need a class feat. For our skill feat, we're going to be taking Train Animal. Now, Train Animal does not really apply to our animal companion. We already have the ability to direct our ring bear wherever we need to direct them. However, as someone who specializes in helping out weddings, there are many other animals that might need to be trained for the wedding. For example, doves. So, Train Animal is going to give us the ability to train animals that are not our companion and teach them the tricks that they need to perform at the weddings that we assist with. To help out with the various animals that we might be working with, we're going to take a class feat called Wild Empathy, which lets us use diplomacy to make requests of animals. Now, I will say, if you don't want to double down on the menagerie of animals at a wedding, something you could do here as an alternative would be to take the Favored Terrain class feat and focus on destination weddings. Options are the spice of life. Now, at third level, we're going to have two more choices to make. We will get Iron Will Expert Will saves automatically from our class, but our choices this level are going to be a general feat and a skill increase. Our skill increase is going to be nature because that's the skill that we use to work with animals, so it's going to be one of the most important skills in this build. As for our general feat, honestly, we have a lot of play here. There's one general feat we'll be taking later that I really want to have, but this is an area of the build where you have a lot of flexibility. One of my favorite general feats, though, is Untrained Improvisation. Basically, this feat lets us use half of our level for our proficiency modifier on untrained skills. If you've ever been involved in wedding planning, you know that there is a lot of crazy stuff that gets thrown at you, and the ability to react to a wide variety of situations, I think, is on theme for this build. It's a great feat, it's flavorful, we're taking that. Untrained Improvisation. Moving on, fourth level. At fourth level, again, we're going to have two choices to make. We're going to take a skill feat, and we're going to take another class feat. For our skill feat, I have picked Alchemical Crafting. This is going to give us the ability to craft alchemical formulas. We're also going to get a formula book and 4 recipes of our choice, and we can learn more as we go along. And basically, the reason I took this feat is so that we have the capacity to make special brews for the wedding day. For our class feat, we're going a little bit generic here. We're going to go with Scout's Warning. Anytime that you roll perception or survival for initiative, you can give your companions a bonus to their initiative roll as well. Got to be ready to move quickly at a wedding, what can I say? However, if you don't think Scout's Warning is particularly appropriate here, another option is the Companion's Cry feat, which allows you to invest more actions in the actions of the ring bear, which is always a good choice as well. Next up is 5th level, and in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, any level that is divisible by 5 is always a very, very busy level. You're always going to get 4 ability boosts. Quick point of order, an ability boost being applied to an ability score that is 18 or higher will only increase the score by 1 instead of the normal 2, so keep that in mind when you see these. But what we're going to do is we're going to take our 4 ability boosts and we're going to apply them to Dexterity, Constitution, Wisdom, and Charisma. From our class features, we're going to pick up Weapon Expertise, which is going to make us better in combat, and we're also going to gain the Trackless Step ability. You can check those abilities out in the core rulebook and figure out what they do. However, the other 2 major choices for level 5 are going to be a skill increase and an Ancestry feat. Now, we're a wedding singer, so the obvious skill increase here needs to be Performance. We're going to go up to Expert in that. And for our Ancestry feat, we're going to take Stone Cunning. This is a classic Dwarven ability that allows you to notice unusual stonework. Part of the reason I took this, Rangers are the only class in the core rulebook that can get Legendary Perception. So a lot of the options I'm going to take throughout this build are options that play off of our Legendary Perception, and Stone Cunning and one of its later follow-up feats pairs really well with the incredible perception that this character is going to have. But that is 5th level. It was busy, we got a lot done, but we've got a lot more to do. Let's keep going. So now we're at level 6 and we've got 2 choices to make again. We're going to have a skill feat and a class feat at this level. Our skill feat is going to be Impressive Performance. And basically what this does is it allows us to use the performance skill, which we're an expert in, to make an impression when we meet new people. So naturally we're going to be able to make good use out of this skill feat. For our class feat, we're going to go with a simple but powerful choice, Mature Animal Companion. The ring bear just got bigger and stronger, and it's definitely a choice that we want. Now, level 7 is going to be a busy level for us. We're going to get 3 automatic class features. We're going to get Weapon Specialization, which is going to increase our damage. We're going to get Vigilant Senses, which is going to increase our perception. And we're going to get Evasion, which is going to power up our reflex saves. Check all of these abilities out in the core rulebook for more information. However, the 2 choices that we need to make are going to be a general feat and a skill increase. For our skill increase, we're going to go with crafting. A few levels ago, we learned to make special brews for the weddings that we attend. We might as well improve our ability to craft special drinks for the bride and the groom. However, our general feat may be one of the most powerful choices that we're going to take this build. We're going to take Expeditious Search. This allows us to use the search and seek activities much faster than normal. In fact, when we eventually get Legendary in Perception, we're going to be able to search 4 times faster than people would normally be able to. If you've ever done any work at a wedding, you know that things love to disappear at the last moment, and the ability to find things quickly is a very, very powerful gift. The bride and the groom will thank you. Next up is 8th level. We have a skill feat and a class feat that we get to pick. The skill feat that we're going to take is Virtuosic Performance. We get to pick a particular type of performance that we are more talented at doing, and the very clear choice here is singing. As for the class feat, we're going to go with Warden's Boon. This is a special action that we can take after we have used the Hunt Prey action that gives one of our companions our Hunt Prey bonuses for 1 round. Now, admittedly, this isn't the strongest option at the moment, but it's going to lead to some stronger options down the road, and the ability to have a bear and a friend helping us tackle an unruly wedding guest is certainly going to be nice. Next up is 9th level. We've got a couple of automatic class options here. We have Ranger's Expertise, which really doesn't affect anything that we're doing, and Nature's Edge. Nature's Edge basically says that our enemies are flat-footed as long as they are on difficult terrain. I'm not exactly sure how you make that applicable to a wedding, but it's an ability that we have. We do, however, have two choices that we need to make, and that is a skill increase and an ancestry feat. Our skill increase, we're going to take crafting up to master. This is going to lead to some really interesting brews next level, but right now we just have even better ability to make drinks. And for our ancestry feat, we're going to take the Clan Protector feat. Dwarves have a special weapon that is associated with their ancestry called the Clan Dagger. It is a dagger that has the parry trait, which you can use to raise your armor class. The Ancestry feat Clan Protector says that when you use the parry trait of your Clan Dagger, you can instead choose to protect the person who is next to you. One of the classic roles of the best man was to protect the bride and groom on their wedding day. So this ability, I think, is very flavorful and appropriate to weddings. And by the way, you can find this Ancestry feat in the Lost Omens character guide. We've got a lot to do at 10th level as well. First up, we've got 4 ability boosts that we get to pick at this level, and we're going to go with Strength, Dexterity, Wisdom, and Charisma. We also get to pick a skill feat and a class feat. Our skill feat is going to be Bless Tonic from Lost Omens Gods and Magic. This special alchemical crafting feat allows us to take healing elixirs, such as the Elixir of Life, and add a negative energy resistance effect to them. Flavorfully, we are serving unique, special, blessed drinks at a wedding. I think this is a pure flavor win. As for our class feat, we're going to be going with the Incredible Companion feat, which is going to give us 2 possible choices for the ring bear. We can have a savage animal companion, or we can have a nimble animal companion. Now, it's probably worth noting that your typical Pathfinder 2nd Edition build would probably prefer the savage version of a bear, but a savage bear is not appropriate for weddings, so we're going to go with a nimble bear instead, because that will allow our ring bear to perform a lot more entertaining acrobatic tricks to entertain the wedding guests. We've done a lot, but we've got a lot more to do, so let's keep moving. Now, level 11 is arguably one of the busiest levels for us. We're going to get a lot of automatic class features here. We're going to get Improved Hunter's Edge, which is going to increase the precision damage that we and the ring bear get to deal against our prey. We're going to gain Wild Stride, which allows us to ignore difficult terrain and downgrade greater difficult terrain. We're going to pick up Juggernaut, which is going to power up our fortitude saves. And we're going to improve our defenses with Medium Armor Expertise. Again, check out all of these abilities in the core rulebook for more information. The 2 choices that we need to make at 11th level are going to be a skill increase and a general feat. For our skill increase, we're going to be bumping our nature up to master proficiency. Again, if we're going to be working with animals, we need this skill as high as possible. And then for our general feat, we're going to take improved initiative. Earlier, we took an ability that helps our companions react faster, so we might as well react faster as well. Not to mention, perception is the most commonly rolled thing for initiative in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. We are eventually going to have legendary perception, and this stacks on top. We will be reacting ridiculously fast. I think this is a fantastic choice for a general feat. It's definitely something I want to take. Now, starting at 12th level, I'm going to go ahead and say that our skill feats are going to be kind of a wide open set of options here. From 12th level all the way through 18th level, I'm going to be offering some basic skill feats, but In your particular campaign, if there are skill feats that you feel would better support what is going on in your particular campaign, we're definitely at a point in the build where you've got plenty of flexibility. So starting here, skill feats is definitely a category where you've got some room to play. But at 12th level, we get to pick a skill feat and a class feat. For our skill feat, we're going to be going with quick repair. Because we are a master at crafting, this will allow us to repair an object using 3 actions. So literally, we can attempt a repair check in 6 seconds. If you have ever been at a wedding, you know exactly why this is a completely unflavored choice. Quick repair, definitely something we're going to want. As for our class feat, we're going to be taking double prey. Basically, what this class feat is going to do, when we use the hunt prey action, we get to pick 2 targets to gain the benefits against both. This is going to open up some fun options down the road as well, but it's definitely a nice option here. At 13th level, we're going to have one automatic class feature, which is Weapon Mastery, going to increase our skill in combat, and tangentially also our damage. However, there are 2 important choices that we need to make this level, and that is a skill increase and an ancestry feat. Our skill increase here is performance. Again, we're a wedding singer. We definitely need to be pushing that performance as high as we can, so easy choice performance. As for our ancestry feat, we're going to be going with an ancestry feat that is found in the Lost Omens character guide, Hero's Call. This allows us to use the spell Heroism once per day, and I think this is a great representation of giving a toast at a wedding. It's worth noting that if we use the spell on ourselves, there's a possibility we can get some temporary HP from it in the right circumstances, but that's not really why I took this feat. I took it because I think that that is a great representation of toasting the bride, toasting the groom, and honoring the celebration that you're a part of. At 14th level, we're going to have 2 choices to make. We get a skill feat and a class feat. Real quick, for the skill feat, we're going to go with Natural Medicine. Natural Medicine allows us to treat wounds with the nature skill, and flavorfully, I see this as maybe easing a nervous stomach on the wedding day. As for our class feat, we're going to go with Shared Prey. This messes with the double prey option a little bit. It gives us a choice. When we use Hunt Prey, we can designate 2 targets, or we can designate 1 target and pick an ally who gains the same bonuses against that target as long as they remain our prey. Now remember, the ring bear automatically gets the bonuses, so at this point, you have a bonus, the ring bear has a bonus, and one of the other bouncers at the wedding has a bonus too. This is going to allow us to apply that precision damage in mass against a single target very, very quickly. It is a fun application of what Rangers do so well in this system, and there are definitely a lot of options here. Next up is 15th level. Again, it's a level divisible by 5, so we got a lot to do here. First up are our 4 ability boosts. We're going to be doing Dexterity, Constitution, Wisdom, and Charisma. We're also going to be picking up 3 automatic class features at this level. We're going to be picking up Incredible Senses, which gives us Legendary Perception. This is a powerful ability. It is a Ranger exclusive, at least at this point in Pathfinder 2nd Edition history. And we've already been playing with Perception, so this gives us a lot of helpful bonuses. We're also going to gain Greater Weapon Specialization for more damage, and Improved Evasion to help push our reflex save as high as possible. On top of all that, at level 15 we have 2 choices we get to make. We get a skill increase and we get a general feat. For our skill increase, we are a wedding singer, so let's kick that performance all the way up to legendary. We are now at the pinnacle of our ability as a performer. As for our general feat at this level, we're going to use this to actually pick up an extra skill feat. We're going to go with Hefty Hauler, which increases the bulk that we can carry by +2. If you've ever done setup for a wedding, you know that there is a lot of stuff to carry, and the ability to carry more is going to make you a very, very popular worker. Now we are in the highest levels of this build. We're approaching the end of our build, and we're going to get a lot of fun options here. At level 16, we're going to get another skill feat and another class feat. For our skill feat, we're going to be taking multilingual, which is going to give us 2 bonus languages known. Now, I haven't been specifying what languages that we're taking. On the character sheets that I'm doing, I'm going to be choosing languages basically flavored around what I think the prettiest wedding music would be in a fantasy setting, so things like Elven. But this is definitely an area where there are plenty of choices available, so take what is best to your campaign. As for our class feat, we're going to be taking Specialized Companion. Specialized Companion is going to give us a list of options for our animal companion to really push what they are capable of doing, and the ring bear is intended to be a performing bear. We want them to do all kinds of fun and entertaining stunts for the wedding guests. And of all of the specialization options that are given to us, I think that Daredevil is the most interesting choice. There are, however, other ones that you can check out, so feel free to pick one of those if you think it's more appropriate. At 17th level, we're going to get an automatic class feature called Masterful Hunter. And this basically just pushes that precision damage bonus we've been passing out. It pushes it even higher. We also get to pick a skill increase and an ancestry feat at this level. For our skill increase, nature's a core skill, so we're going to push nature up to legendary. As for our ancestry feat, we're going to take Stonewalker. This allows us to cast a spell Meld into Stone once per day. Wedding flavor, honestly, I can't think of any here. You can hide in a wedding statue, maybe? I mostly took this because this is going to push our perception abilities to the utmost degree. We have legendary perception, and I wanted to take the abilities that allow us to game legendary perception as much as possible. It's not wedding flavored, but it's still fun. Next up is 18th level, and we have 2 choices to make here. We have a skill feat and a class feat. For our skill feat, we're going to be taking Student of the Canon, which basically makes it where we get better results when we recall knowledge or decipher writing using a religion skill check. I see this as your character knowing wedding vows inside and out. You're never going to mess those up. As for our class feat, we're going to be taking Masterful Companion. And remember the Masterful Hunter ability that we got last level? Well, those bonuses now apply to the ring bear as well. It's simple, it's powerful, it's plus 3d8 precision damage when the ring bear mauls somebody. You want it, we've got it. 19th level, the penultimate level of this build, is going to have 2 automatic class features. One of them is Swift Prey, which lets us use Hunt Prey as a free action if it's the first thing we do in a round. And then we're going to gain Second Skin, which improves our ability with armor, it gives us more defense, and it's going to let us rest in armor as well. However, at this level, we got 2 choices to make. We have a skill increase, and we have a general feat. For our skill increase, we're going to be taking our wedding lore skill up to expert, because obviously. And then for our general feat, we're actually going to use our general feat to pick up another skill feat, which is the Hobnobber skill feat. Basically what this lets us do is it allows us to gather information in half the usual time. We spend so much time at important weddings that we find out all kinds of juicy gossip. But now we're at level 20, the final level of the build. We've got several important choices to make here, starting with our ability boosts. At this level, we're going to be taking Strength, Dexterity, Constitution, and Intelligence. By the way, that Intelligence boost will give us an additional trained skill and an additional language known. For that additional trained skill, I'm going to go with Intimidation in case we have to throw out an unruly guest. But you could pick anything appropriate to your campaign. We also get to pick a skill feat and a class feat. For our skill feat, we're going to go with Legendary Performer. We have been singing at weddings so long that we are attracting attention all across the globe. Kings and queens invite us to perform at their weddings, along with the ring bearer, and we might even be getting some divine attention as well from our performances. Very flavorful and reflective of a long career entertaining people at weddings. As for our class feat, this probably doesn't have much to do with weddings, but we're taking Triple Threat. This gives us a few options. When we hunt prey, we can pick 3 targets, or we can pick 2 targets and give those bonuses to a friend, or we can pick 1 target and give 2 friends all of our bonuses. This is the epitome of target fire against one poor, unfortunate soul who doesn't understand proper etiquette at a wedding. You, the ring bearer, and 2 other people are kicking them to the curb as fast as humanly possible. Pour on that burst precision damage. It is a beautiful thing. So that brings us to the end of this build. Real quick, what are some strengths of this build? First off, focus fire is definitely one of the strengths here. We have the ability to pile on precision damage. Our ring bearer has the ability to pile on precision damage, and potentially 2 of our other party members can pile on precision damage as well. If you need to take down 1 target and take them down quickly, Ranger is the class for you, and we have definitely made that a part of this build. Next up, this is actually a really durable character build. We may be playing an archer, but we're playing an archer with a bear in front of us. Maybe we didn't go with the toughest bear imaginable, but we've got 290 hit points at level 20, and our bear has over 200 hit points as well. We're not going to be easy to take down. Finally, perception. We have taken all kinds of things that improve our perception or play with what we can do with that legendary perception stat. If nothing else, the fact that we are an Oathkeeper Dwarf means that we have the highest possible sense motive in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, which means we're going to catch the people who are not serious about their wedding vows, and we can do something about it before it becomes a catastrophe. What are some weaknesses of this build? Well, first and foremost, if you're going to be an entertainer, Dwarf may not be the best pick because we start with that hit to our charisma. Picking an Ancestry that doesn't have a charisma flaw would go a long way to making this build stronger and allow us to diversify more at lower levels. Also, this is a very flavorful build, but I don't know if it has the most substance outside of the flavor. For example, all of our crafting and alchemy choices were really thrown in there for the sake of flavor. There are probably better mechanical choices that you could be making, but if you want an all-around best guy to have at a wedding ever, this is the build for you. But let me toss it over to you. What do you think of Grunyar, Goldenbeard, and the Ring Bearer? Do you like the choices that I made? Are there other choices that you would make? If you were building this character in a game other than Pathfinder 2nd Edition, what choices would you make to reflect this style of character? Let me know down in the comments below, and let me know if you enjoy videos like this, because I am totally open to doing other character builds in the future. Finally, like the video, share it if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to our channel, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Sarah and Toomey, congratulations again. is Mark with the post-credits volunteer shout-out. As you all know, I serve as a chaplain and volunteer coordinator at my regular job, though thanks to this COVID-19 crisis, I really miss getting to actually be at work. Still, I like to take a little bit of time at the end of every video to advocate for volunteer service. Even in the middle of a crisis, there are opportunities to serve your community, to be a blessing to others, and to help alleviate some of the common grief that we are going through as a society. Now, I know I've mentioned this before, but I want to do a shout out on this subject again today. One of the big things that anybody can do in the middle of this crisis is donate blood. I recently got another call from our local blood center stating that they are at crisis levels. They are in desperate need of blood donors to come in and help restore their supply. Blood centers are being hit really, really hard in this crisis. And when you have a major medical catastrophe, a blood donation literally can save lives. Now, I will admit right now I'm not able to donate blood. I have been trying since this crisis began. My iron is too low, and I have been pushing and working and trying to get my iron level up, and it's always like 0.3 off or something. My wife and I have come up with a plan that basically involves too much Texas Roadhouse steak. But we're trying to come up with a plan. I'm really hoping to get in next week and donate blood because I know that it is a very real need in the community. And I am certain that not just my community, but communities all across this nation, there is a real need for blood donors to step up and to help address the medical concerns that our nation is facing. So if you have never donated blood, let me encourage you to consider it. I am desperately fearful of needles, and yet I can tell you I have donated, I believe, almost 5 gallons worth of blood over the course of my life. Thankfully, not all at once. But I promise you that the staff that work those blood centers, they are professional, they are excellent at what they do, and even if you have a great fear like I do, I promise you they will take fantastic care of you. If you have never considered donating, let this be the push, let this be the moment of encouragement that helps you to step up and maybe do that for your community. And as always, keep your eyes and ears open for other needs around you and look for ways to be a blessing to your community around you. God bless you and have a wonderful day.